Hello, everyone, and welcome to Cullen on Film. We are in the studio. This is crazy. And we got Ming over here. What's up, Ming? How are you?
What's up? I'm behind the scenes here, but welcome
Yeah.
back, CJ, to the studio. And but this is a milestone right here.
Yeah, this is the first time here for Cullen on Film.
Yeah,
live and live. Yeah, instead of over the internet, we are here. We are standing here, and we have Tom Bentey here tonight.
Greetings. How you doing? Thanks for having me, CJ. It's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to have you in the studio and the new studio because I don't even know if we did we do a hang on to your shorts one here at all?
I think we did one, right?
It wasn't hang on to your shorts. I think we were just playing around.
We
with
were
some
okay.
Other
Yeah, for sure.
So that hasn't even happened yet. So this is the first for us. I popped up on some other shows or stuff, but this is you got to be on the first.
Nice. That's what an honor. What an honor to be here with Ming and CJ.
So, Tom, you're in the business. You're behind the scenes. You're in front of the scenes. You're doing all this. What got you started in the film industry overall? Like, how did you like? I'm gonna work in this business. I'm gonna do stuff for this. How did that happen?
Going way back.
Yeah, way back.
Let's
kid,
see.
Little kid.
You're
like, I'm gonna do this.
No, it was more in college. I remember the first acting job I ever had, or production.
So
that
was
I was
it
in.
acting first or production first?
No, it was acting. So yeah,
first.
I was definitely an actor first before I got into anything else. My first year and a half, I went to the College of New Jersey, and I did a production of Romeo and Juliet, and I played Balthazar.
Ooh.
This is going back to the fall of 2000.
That's
My
hard.
God,
Romeo and Juliet. That's tough.
My God, yeah, it was, but it was a great experience. I remember I felt just such a sense of accomplishment being a part of the production, and I just felt like, man, this is something that I really enjoy doing. And
Shakespeare.
Yeah, as a college student, I enjoyed it, and you appreciate it more as you get older. But I definitely remember liking it.
Did you read it in high school? Shakespeare stuff?
Yeah, of course.
So you understood it. And I always had a hard time with it.
I did understand it, and I want to go back and read it again and read more of his work, obviously. But it was just a great experience back then, and that kind of, I had the bug, and then I went to Rutgers. I transferred to Rutgers after that, and I did I acted in a feature independent film. So this is 2002. So it was a very, very different landscape. The equipment was very different, but
was it film?
No, it was digital, but it was like digital at the time. So it wasn't the HD revolution did not happen yet. That happened, I think, in 08. Or 09
later,
so it's still, the process was similar to what we're doing today, and that was a very great experience, and I loved being a part of that production. And
is this film out there? Can we see it?
I don't know if it's out there. I played a deviant character in a college setting,
like one of those PCU moments.
No, it was a drama film. It was called Wasteland by this great director Dan Fabrizio, who
sounds like a Bruce
still he has a company. I think it's called Water into Wine. He lives in northern New Jersey, and I think he's still doing really well. I haven't seen him in a while, but he was a great director to work for, and we've kept in touch throughout the years, but I haven't seen him in a few. But it was a great experience. Again, I love being a part of it. Like most people that are in actors or in production or directing, they just love being a part of that creative process. And then I graduated college in 2003, and I did a bunch of independent film, off Broadway theater in New York City.
How was that? I was wondering.
No, again, it's just they're interesting experiences.
Black box kind of thing?
Yeah, exactly. Producers Club. A lot of people have done productions there. This is going back to like 2004.
I'm gonna direct something in Black Box. Never did that.
Yeah, it's a good experience. I had a lot of fun doing it. And but I wanted to take more control over my career. A lot of letdowns in as an actor, like these projects.
So you were just full on acting at that time?
Yes. Oh yeah. I mean, I had ideas that I wanted to translate into film at some point, but they were just ideas. I didn't know how to write. I didn't know anything about really the production process. But then bring us up to a few years later, like 2007, I'm like, I want to take more control over my career. I want to actually produce and direct and write. So I enrolled in the New School, which is in the West Village of Manhattan.
Yeah.
And I got a master's degree in media studies, and it was a great program. It wasn't strictly a film program, though I focused most of my courses on film.
But it is a master's.
It is a master's, and I learned not only film and screenwriting and production, but I also learned like communication theory, Marshall McLuhan, things like that. And that was really helpful for what I do today as a, I'm in corporate video and branding and messaging and things like that. But as part of that program, I wrote, directed, and acted in a feature film called At the Jersey Shore, which is still on Amazon Prime, iTunes,
You
YouTube.
can get that,
Yeah, you can check it out. That was an amazing experience. So, I mean, I've told this story.
You just went out and did it?
I just did. I know looking back,
Feature
it's like,
film,
just
going
a
out and
feature
do it.
film.
That's
Yeah,
you got guts, man.
I know. Looking back, you're like, wow, that was pretty crazy. But we just did it. I was lucky enough. I had a great production crew. Mike and Spike of Urban Mouse Productions. I mean, we're going back to 2009 when we started this film. I had a great cast. Yeah. All the cast involved, Melissa Kellner, Frank Marsico, Matthew Aiden, all the other supporting roles. They were just amazing. I mean, it was a crazy experience. I've learned such a lot about production, and how we did it all, I think, was just I don't know how we did it all, but we finished it. So we didn't finish everything in 2009. And then we had to come back in 2010, and all the cast came back and all the crew came back, and we finished. It was just a whirlwind. It was just an absolute whirlwind. But again, I just learned so much about production. I learned so much about storytelling. I learned so much just about acting and just everything, how putting together this vision.
You wrote it, directed it, you starred.
I started and I did everything. And then that had a great festival run. I was, what we had going for us.
As before I knew you were doing that festival.
Yes,
but then you were still, I knew you, and it was still going some places.
Yeah. It was a long run, but what we had going for us at that time was MTV's Jersey Shore. So I had no idea that MTV was going to be at Seaside Heights during the summer of 2009. But
during the filming,
we had no idea. It was just by more or less
it wasn't out yet.
No.
So people didn't know, it wasn't a big thing yet.
No,
like
it wasn't.
Craze.
I remember back in 2009 that we had heard that MTV was in town in Seaside Heights, but we had no idea what was going to happen.
They had the house before that, right? They used to have
they
MTV party house. That's where Ashley Simpson, who I used to know, used to host.
Yeah, so they had an MTV Shore House in like 98, I remember, and I think in 2002.
That's when she was like a sort of VJ party.
Yeah, they did stuff in 2002. And then to give you the backstory of MTV's Jersey Shore, I don't know if anybody knows this story, but there is a viral video, when things were.
And you're in it?
No, back in I think it was 05. It was either 05 or it might have been right before the show in 08, and they did this thing called Guido Beach. No, there was a viral video. So it's just basically this. Someone set up a camera at Joey Harrison Surf Club in Ortley Beach, and they interviewed all these Jersey Shore type characters, and this video went viral. And I think it came out and then after that hype happened, somebody, the producer of MTV's Jersey Shore, went to MTV with the idea, and they pitched it, and it became very successful. So I had seen that video, and I remember there was a web series at the time, I think, called Guido Beach.
I do remember.
Remember
Guido
that?
Beach.
Yeah, it was like
Guido
but
Beach.
they didn't film in Jersey. I think they were filming in California. It was just like a strange little thing that had a moment in time. But I remember because I was writing the script at that time, and when you're a first time filmmaker and screenwriter, your biggest concern is that you think someone's going to steal your idea. So I remember being like ultra paranoid that somebody's going to steal my idea. Now, as an accomplished or more accomplished filmmaker, your biggest concern is somebody's actually going to watch or read your material. I mean, it's the complete opposite. But I remember just being on the internet all the time back then and like seeing, what's somebody going to do with this MTV or this Jersey Shore idea that I have? And I was just so paranoid. I remember at the time. And
then it came out.
And then, so we did it concurrently. But it helped. Instead of hindering my project, it definitely helped. It added to the publicity because MTV's Jersey Shore became so huge. I remember that Christmas of 2009, like the world exploded.
That was it.
With MTV Jersey Shore. And then that was it. I mean, the cat was out of the bag. And I remember being in Seaside Heights. I've never seen Seaside Heights so crazy as I did Memorial Day weekend 2010. There must have been
when they were doing season 2, or
yeah, they started season 2, and there must have been 200,000 people. I mean, it was absolute insanity.
Yeah.
So that hype, that publicity definitely helped my film, and we showed that side. We filmed at the Bamboo, which is recently just sold today.
Really?
So there's no longer Bamboo. It's
Uh-oh.
going to be a bunch of condominiums.
Oh,
Seaside
so it's not
Heights-
even a bar anymore.
No, Seaside Heights is going through a rejuvenization, or
Yeah.
I
That
mispronounced
happened
it.
up here many years ago.
In Asbury,
Trade
well, I'm
Winds.
hoping.
Well, Asbury, but
yeah,
Trade
yeah.
Winds back in
Oh,
Seabright days.
Yeah.
Trade Winds was the place to go, and,
Mhm.
and now it's condos.
Yeah, well, it's condos, and that's what's going to happen. Well, that's what's going to happen to the Bamboo. So I'm hoping as a Seaside Park resident that Seaside Heights becomes like an Asbury Park, like this really posh, cool place. But we'll see. So we filmed in those establishments that MTV made famous. We filmed at the Bamboo. We filmed in Karma. But we also, because the theme of the film is that there's more. There's a lot of substance to the Jersey Shore. There's a lot of soul and meaning.
And there is.
And that's what my film showed. So we showed both sides. And actually, the first name of the film, which we changed, but the first name was Love Chaos, because it was both the love of the Jersey Shore and the chaos of it. So so we finished that in 2010, and then we premiered at the 2011 Sonoma Film Festival in Wine Country in California, and that was a great experience. A lot of people really appreciated.
That was the first one.
That was the first one.
That must have been a great.
It was great.
Way
It
to
was awesome.
start it.
Yeah, I mean,
open it up,
I had no idea. I mean, I didn't have much
what
experience.
film festival experiences
nothing,
was like, and that's a heck of a start, man.
Yeah, it was. It was just an amazing experience. I had a great producer, Gregory Rem, who I'm still friendly with. I'm still in contact with. And he worked at HBO at the time. And
Can you be like, let's do another one?
He was able to, secure a lot of those contacts, and was able to at least get us seen by these big festival directors. And we got in to Sonoma, and that was great. And that's where we met our distributor, Gravitas Ventures. We met the distributor there, and it's like 6-7 months later, they decided to pick up the film. And in the summer of 2012, we were on all platforms, VOD, everything. So it was cool. It was just an amazing experience. And then, since then I've done some short films, Flap Rim, which was at your bunch of your festivals.
Yeah, so that was right after you went to the short film, right after the feature.
Yeah. So I wanted to just keep on creating. So I did Flap Rim, which is on YouTube now. You can check out my YouTube page, Tom Bentey Media.
Ooh, that was very funny. It was very different and strange, and loved the butler guy.
Yeah,
it was just
a thing we did
funny.
like 3 days in at the end of 2013,
and you see the people that are in it circulating in different films all over the place now, which is really cool to see that.
That was cool. That was just a cool experience. Very low budget, just something we did kind of on the whim. I did other short films, Last Call, which was at your festival, Reckoning.
That was the next one, or like
I think that was the next one.
You didn't do one for a while, or like, what about the beach one you did? That wasn't yours though, right? You brought in.
Yeah, that was my friend, who actually the guy that played the dad at the Jersey Shore, this gentleman by the name of Bobby Garino. He had an idea for a film, and he wanted to hire me to produce it and co-direct it with him, and I did.
So you produced and co-directed.
Yeah. So that was called Feast at the Beach.
Yeah, that was different too.
That was strange. It was a cool film, cool experience.
Ending.
We filmed in Long Beach Island, New Jersey.
Oh yeah.
And that was cool. And then I did Last Call, which was at your festivals, which is about an old drunk at a bar.
Now you did that, and then you went back and you reshot things. Was that the film that you?
Yeah, we shot it. Yeah, we reshot some scenes for that because we wanted to really enhance. A lot of people weren't getting, I think, the fact that the main character's ex-wife was coming into the bar at the end of the film. Like, people didn't understand the relationship, so we had to establish that to make it more cohesive from the narrative standpoint. But that had, some festival exposure. We went to Mesa, California Film Festival. We got back. That was in October. That screen there. That was a great time. Yeah. Right outside of Phoenix.
Oh yeah. You were in Phoenix, right?
Yeah.
Phoenix.
Yeah. That was cool. That was a great experience. That's the thing about festivals. It's so much fun. It's so much fun being there, meeting people, seeing great films,
right now.
going to cool towns.
Right now.
Yeah, I
so
know.
It's missing festivals and cons.
I know. Exactly.
It's a shame, but hopefully we start getting them back. We have one hopefully in August. But we don't know.
I don't know. If that's
and Hang On to Your Shorts is September. We don't know. Don't really know. And then, but a lot of them are being pushed back to September, October, November. So all these festivals that we've been missing, it's going to be going nuts then, if they can even do it.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, that's a whole different category and subject, but who knows what the hell's going to happen? I mean, it's just so crazy.
Like
right
some
now.
went online, so if you like, so some of them went online, and you could watch them online, and some
Yeah,
like are
Flap
pushing
Rim's-
back for a few
Flap
months.
Rim's online.
Well, I mean the films, but I mean the festivals itself.
Oh yeah, a lot of
There's
them
so
do
many. They
virtual.
either said we're going online and just doing it and getting it over with, or we're gonna push it for 3 months.
Well, so I know the Lighthouse International Film Festival
Well,
and
they did something
LBI,
different.
they did something different. They had a drive-in.
Yeah.
So that was real. I didn't get a chance to make it down, but I'd screen
yeah.
there. They're a great festival. I love that festival.
It'd be strange to do the drive. I guess some of them were indoor. Maybe I think they did or all drive-in. I forget how they.
No, I think they had to do it
They
all
do it
drive-in.
all drive-in,
Yeah, or
yeah.
virtual. Drive-in or virtual.
virtual. So that's interesting, but I guess they have that area that they can do that. You know.
Yeah, they must have some fields where they put up shop. I'm not sure, but I just thought that was a cool idea. If I had the time, I would have definitely went down there and check it out.
Yeah.
They're a great festival, really cool.
I mean, they had a lot of they get a lot of stuff in the features and shorts, but they get some stuff that has been out there.
Yeah,
Sundance.
They go to Sundance and they'll like
recruit,
handpick films. Yeah, they'll recruit films. So that's awesome.
But your feature played there, didn't it?
My feature. Well, they had like a special screening for my feature in 2014 because that was after the festival run. But I met this gentleman by the name of Eric Johnson, who's a festival director there. I think in 2014, and we just started a conversation. I met him at a gathering in New York City, and he's like, "Oh, it sounds interesting. Let me check out the film." I think he checked out the film, and then he's like, "Yeah, this would be good to have like a special screening." So they had it in the fall.
I think they had like another festival in New York that they run too.
I think he did the Friars Club
Friars
Festival.
Club.
I don't think he does that anymore though. Yeah. And then Flap Rim screen there, Feast of the Beach screen there, and Feast of the Beach filmed at the beach, like right up the street.
There. So
that made a lot of sense. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, all these great festivals. We'll see what's happening.
Do you have any circulating still out there?
No, I have. Well, I'm putting stuff like online now. The American Benefactor.
Well, so the stuff you're working on now, you're not going to put in festivals. You're going to go right to their web series.
Well, one of them's a web series, The American Benefactor, which is the first episode, which is about 7 minutes.
It's out there.
It's on my YouTube, Tom Bentey Media. You could check it out. And then I'm about to finish the second episode.
So that's the web series because you also have other things.
Yeah, I did
similar.
a TV pilot. I wrote, directed. My uncle had an idea for a TV show.
So it's not the same as The Benefactor or something different.
No, it's something different. It's called The Cafone. And we had a great cast. James Chacon, who was in The Irishman, among other things. He's also in The Deuce. He was the lead actor in that. This is about a low life, degenerate New Jersey wannabe mobster character.
Sounds familiar.
Very, very Jersey comedy. We'll see how it plays, but it's a very Jersey comedy.
Yeah.
But we're waiting.
And it's 30 minutes?
It's
25 minutes.
Yeah.
Because of commercials.
Yeah. So once things get, I mean, pretty much as far as I can tell, the industry's on hold. So we're waiting until
just gotta wait, right?
Backs up.
How do you pitch that? How do you pitch a show?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, there's no one way to go about it. For the Cafone, I mean, we have a pilot episode, and then we have a bunch of ideas for upcoming episodes.
So you pitch and then you pitch ideas for future.
And it just basically, I think what networks want to see, or these production companies want to see, is that you have an idea of what this show is all about. So you want to outline who the characters are, what are the main instances from their backstories that really define them. What are the characteristics? What are the plot points? Like, how is this narrative gonna move forward? So, I mean, that all of that can change, but you want to have like an idea of like a whole encompassing show, and they want to see that you understand what this program is all about. So so for both the Cafone and for the American Benefactor, I mean, we have both of those things. So if you're making or you have an idea for a TV show, it's important that you put together a Bible. And that Bible is going to just have all the information about everything regarding that show. And then from that Bible, you create like a pitch deck. So we understand like the themes, we understand the visuals, we understand the characters, the plot, the narrative, et cetera. Also like the main tensions, what's going to drive this particular narrative, things like that.
So during all this time that we've had, have you been putting things together and planning and selling this and promoting it and pushing it? Have you had more time to do that since all the Corona.
Yeah, I mean, well, with the American Benefactor, we almost finished the second episode, but then the whole
And
quarantine
then it
happened.
happens,
So
you have to still go back and
I have
do
to
that.
film one little episode, one
Oh.
little. I had a rough cut done, and I
Yeah.
sent it to people. I got some great notes, so I have to go back and edit that, which I will
But
very
you still
soon.
have to shoot a little bit
And I have
more.
to shoot like one scene that's going to take very short. But we'll have 2 episodes done for that. And I do have a pitch deck. So I've been working on this for about 5 years. So I have like the whole backstory. I have the Bible. I have the pitch deck, etc.
For that particular one, or the
Yes.
Gaffone, or both of them?
For that particular one, I have like pretty much everything you need. And like I said, we're going to go and finish the second episode, and I'll have 2 episodes done. And I'm debating now whether I want to put that second episode online, or do I want to hold off and submit that to festivals and have one
Mhm.
online and one festivals, or do I want to have 2 online and then go, and when we have the ability to go and film a 3rd episode, because I have like the first season all written out. And that actually, I met a producer and they really liked it, and they were in the process of pitching it with me. And unfortunately, just with the whole coronavirus and the quarantine, like everything just came to a halt. But I did get some promising feedback on that from like legitimate producers, and I'm really excited about it. I think it's a great project, great idea. It's basically Highway to Heaven meets like Game of Thrones. You know, it's like the spiritual world.
I like those. I like both shows.
Yeah, it's the spiritual world. It's about self-improvement, betterment, motivation, overcoming obstacles, becoming a better version of yourself. So each episode we focus on a different character and their circumstances to improve themselves. And the first season revolves around actually Alex Aldia plays a character, Rovan, in the show. And he, as a very rigid and like logical man, he falls in love with our secretary that works at the office. And my goal and my job is to bring him to the point where he can feel enough confidence to make a go at a relationship with her. So, but it deals with also the spiritual world and your past selves and your past lives and overcoming that as well. So I'm really excited about that. I think the first episode came out great. I'm excited about the second episode. So for the Caphone, we have basically, we have that pilot done.
Yeah.
And then we have, it's my uncle's idea. So he has like all these ideas for upcoming episodes. And one of my goals for the summer is to really turn those ideas into like a substantial Bible. And then from that Bible, we'll create a pitch deck.
Well, now, the other day, Cuomo just put out some rules and regulations for starting to film again.
Oh,
in New York.
See that?
Yeah, it just came out. I haven't looked it over, but he just announced that, and they announced it out in California. So the rules and regulations to follow for the filming. So it is coming back. So people who have been writing like crazy, I'm sure you've been writing. Have you been writing during all this?
Yeah.
So now, soon, before we know it, it will be opening up with a lot of restrictions, but it'll be opening up to start filming again.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see from a practical standpoint how this is actually going to work. Like, you've been on a lot of film sets. It's a pretty hectic place. It's a pretty crazy place. Like from a logistical standpoint, is this really going to make sense? I know a lot of people were expressing those concerns. I don't know.
It's going to be small crews,
yeah.
And small, unfortunately, for a while anyway.
Yeah.
Our last guest, who my student was interviewing, Mika Borum, she just shot a music video down in Arkansas, social distance shooting. So she was talking about how she did it all, and it was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I guess anything can be done. We just have to make sure it's safe. And if everybody has the same mindset, like, these are the rules, this is the world that we have to play in, then we can do it. It's going to be different. Maybe not tremendously harder, but definitely different for sure.
Yeah.
And the other project I'm working on currently, just to give you some more insight, is so a couple years ago, this woman, Teresa Gattuso O'Connor, I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. She lives down in South Jersey, I think Swedesboro. And she reached out to me on Facebook, and she has a really interesting motivational life story. So when she was 14 years old in the 1980s, she went from being a normal 14-year-old active kid to having a brain aneurysm and having to learn to walk again, to talk again, to being permanently disabled for the rest of her life. And she wrote an autobiography about her life struggles and her story. And it's really motivational in terms of everything that she's been through and all the obstacles that she's overcome. And she's a religious person, and that's a big part of her story. So I've been translating that story into a script. Yeah. And I think the way that I'm going about it is because there's so many good, anecdotes and aspects to the story that it's going to be 4 series. So Act 1, Act 2, Act 3, and Act 4. Her childhood, Act 1 and Act 2, and then her adulthood, Act 3 and Act 4. And it just goes to show you that no matter what life throws at you, you can overcome it if you have faith, if you have hope, and you have a good mindset, which she definitely had. And I think it's a very enticing narrative for anyone. I think it really resonates with all people because we all go through hardships in our lives. We all go through struggles, and it's how you approach it that is really going to define not only your ability to overcome any obstacles, but really going to define yourself and your character. And I think it's just an amazing story. And I've been spending
Would this be a feature film?
I think it'll be like a 4-part series.
So like a mini series.
Yes.
Like a mini series.
I think so.
That's something different.
I think so. So I've been spending a lot of time.
Like HBO is doing a lot of mini series where it's like a couple episodes and out.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think that would make sense for this.
Yeah.
That would make sense for this. So I'm currently working on that script. And the way that I work is you read all the information, you read the book, and then you kind of put together an outline. So I had an outline for Act 1, outline for Act 2. And after each act outline, what I'll do is I'll send it to her and get her feedback. And then
could even be a lifetime.
Maybe, yeah, I think so. I think
they have and you put it in movies like parts, like release the 1 and then the second part 2 comes out, but it's another movie.
Yeah,
but you never know. But
yeah,
I've seen that. I've seen going to the Hallmark and watching some Lifetime stuff myself.
Yeah,
I learned.
I don't watch too much of that stuff.
Yeah.
But, this, I don't know. We'll see where this goes. I mean, it's just a very engaging story, very interesting, and we'll see. And I think if it's done properly, it'll really resonate with a lot of people. And I think it's a good timing for the story because it's like,
especially people want to see that. People want to see stories like that.
Different voices, right?
Yeah.
You don't really see many stories about disabled people, and I think this would bring light to that voice and to that story. And I think it's Teresa's story is a great vehicle for that.
Absolutely. So you're like all over the map with different things.
Yeah, you get us. Right? I'm going to do a video on my channel about this and what the quarantine has taught me. But there's 2 ways that you can go about it. Listen, you could either just completely fall off the rails and lose your mind, which there was times definitely during the quarantine where I felt like I was kind of losing my mind a little bit. I don't know. I mean, me
too. Luckily I had school still going on, so I was very busy, and the show kind of saved me. In the school and the show, and I was busy.
Yeah,
the whole time.
I was staying at the shore in Seaside, and the weather this spring has been just horrible. Oh my god!
So what did you do? Like when it was raining and you didn't go out and
can't do it?
Were you writing? Were you watching stuff? Writing?
I
trying to be creative, but then sometimes you're just like with me, I was being creative and doing stuff, and then I just have to stop and veg and watch something. So I watched like Ozark.
That was great, amazing.
But as I watched that, and I planned on watching that when I couldn't do anything, it made me think more. It made me like, I want to write something like that, or I want to do something like that. And because I wasn't just watching any old crap on television, I was watching it for a reason too. So I don't know if that came to you at all.
I binged Ozark as well, along with Tiger King.
Tiger King. But then you get an idea. I guess you could get your reality show ideas watching that in your mind, and maybe like sit down and be like, I could write something. And boom,
I mean, the big thing for me is just staying structured and staying focused. But I've struggled with anxiety in the past, depression in the past, and this quarantine has definitely brought about those demons for sure. Oh my god, yeah, it's just especially in like the midst of it in like March and April, and it's just gray and it's gray,
raining every day.
Oh my god,
hard. Like I was running a lot and I stopped because it was raining and raining and raining, and I'm like, what do? I'm eating and I'm eating, ordering food out.
Yeah,
were you doing the same thing? Like
no, I would still try to stay as structured as I can, but I definitely felt times where I was just kind of like
in and out though. People were in and out a lot.
Yeah, like what the hell is going on? Like I can't go anywhere. Like this is like you can't go anywhere if you start to think about it. Like, oh my god, like this whole world is just messed up. Like what are we gonna do? Like this is insane. And
no, it's getting better now.
It's getting better now, but you definitely like in the midst of it,
in the studio,
you would have those bad those bad thoughts, like this isn't going to get better, and like it's a real struggle. But for me, at least, I would try to stay as disciplined as I can, with exercise, just doing push-ups, finding exercise online, biking and when I can, and then staying structured, so, still doing the normal things I do for my company. I have a corporate video production company, and I was still reaching out to people on LinkedIn, which is what a lot of the outreach that I do, setting up virtual meetings, and then scheduling time to write and scheduling time to read in my daily schedule. And that's what kept me sane.
What about teaching? 'Cause you also teach.
Yeah. So we, as most schools, if not all schools across the country, in March things changed and we had to go all online. So it was a very haphazard approach to it at this point, because I mean it was just.
Were you able to teach okay online with your subject matter, or was it very difficult from the classroom to?
I mean, obviously I would prefer to be in person.
But you can teach online classes.
Yeah, I mean, we
yourself.
have the technology now to definitely teach online. Next semester,
Is it online?
It's going to be, well, they don't know yet. It's going to be at least partially online.
So you're talking about September?
September, yeah. So I teach transmedia projects at Montclair State University, and we had to change, obviously, to online learning after in March.
I have some students going to Montclair. I believe, as far as they know, is they're going.
No, they're going to have school
In September.
It's in September. I just don't know the
All
extent.
classes.
Yeah,
All classes might be online. They might go there, and some will be online. Some
of them. It's looking like it's going to at least be partially online, or what they'll do is like half the class for half of the session and the other half for the other session. They're still figuring that out along with the rest of the state.
I feel bad for the students that graduated from high school and they're going to film school. So they're going to film school, and hopefully they don't have to be online learning film, and they can be hands-on. It's going to be difficult, but I feel bad for them that they have to deal with that still.
Yeah.
Because the whole end of the school year, I had a bunch of seniors that were doing well, right?
Mm-hmm.
Doing well, filming, doing this, getting to this festival. And then it just stopped. And it's like, what do? You have to kind of revert. For the advanced kids, you go revert back to TV film one. So I was like, really? We got to do what we did already?
Yeah.
So I have 4 other classes. It's fine. It was easy, because it's like, all right, this is what you do next. But for the advanced kids that just take a camera and go, what do you do?
Yeah, I know. We
were doing online stuff. I was getting them interviews. They were interviewing people online, doing what Ming started for Cullen on film. The kids were doing it, and that's how it changed.
Yeah,
and they had to adapt to that. Some did, some didn't. So some were like, I can't do this. I'm graduating. I don't care anymore. And some were like, let's do it. Do something new. And so some grew from it all, and some just went down, and now it's over.
Well, I mean,
what about your students? The same? Like some can handle it, some couldn't.
Yeah, I mean, I'm
like,
dealing with college seniors, so there's a level of maturity there. But
I'm sure some were like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of people. I think, and if the quarantine affects people in different ways, so I was very kind of understanding in terms of each person's particular circumstance and their ability to complete the work efficiently. But I think the world's changing in terms of us understanding that we can do a lot virtually now. And so can
you imagine if this happened in like the early
2000s
or even 90s, late 90s? Yeah. What would we do?
Who knows? Yeah. But, so it's a benefit for the students. It's a benefit for myself and for all people to understand that this virtual world that we're living in is going to be a part of our world, and even more so. And we should take advantage of it, and we should learn the best way to approach it and experience it, because this is the world that we're living in. I mean, we can talk about everyone who's leaving New York. A lot of our friends have left. Some people might not.
Went to Florida, but now I don't know if they want to stay there now.
Who knows if these people are going to come back. I mean, even for actors, you can most, if not all, auditions are virtual. So if you have a home studio set up, you can just do the auditions virtually. And then when you have to go to the city, you can get an Airbnb or something or to that effect.
That might save, because I remember, I don't do that anymore, but I remember going in for audition, going in the city, doing an audition. So I waste the day, I waste all this money, travel in there, go in there and do this and do it and come back, get the train back home, and the day's over.
Yeah.
And did I get it? Did I not get it? Did I just waste, $50 in the whole day?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
Just
the
here you go.
casting
Boop.
directors are moving everything virtually and online now. So you don't necessarily have to be in the city. You know, obviously the big companies like Twitter, everything's remote now. They're going to keep on doing it. You're hearing companies doing that more and more because it makes sense
And
financially.
at least until like another year or so. Like
Yeah,
some people
no,
are
but
staying
Twitter's
home.
doing it for forever.
That's it.
Yeah,
They're
they
home.
said they're not bringing. They're they'll have events and things where they'll bring people together, but day to day everybody can work from home, and you're going to see that a lot. I mean, we can do everything virtually now. We don't have to be in office setting anymore, and maybe that model doesn't work. So it's for all the students out there. I mean, to learn virtually is very important because this is the world that we're all living in now. And I think you're going to see, it'd be interesting to see these long-term changes that are going to happen even after coronavirus is finally gone, which is hard to think about at this point, but
I really hope so.
Yeah,
I really do hope, like we were talking before, I really do hope they have something by the end of the year and we can go back to normal. Just in the classroom setting.
Yeah. But it'll be interesting to see, particularly movie theaters, right? We both love films. I mean, they're not opening, I think, in some parts of the country, but are they going to
They're planning on doing it somehow, somewhere, but it's going to be even less people.
Yeah, it's going to be leaving less people.
Remember when they made the theater, even over here, the theaters are less chairs? So they made it less people.
Yeah, but they were charging more, I think.
But you had the recliners, but it's less chairs, less people anyway. And now they got to do half of that.
Half of that, yeah. It'll be it'll be interesting to see how these theaters come back, if at all. Yeah. I mean,
well, theaters were open in Texas. Well, now Texas is pretty much shutting down
again. Yeah.
So who knows what's going to happen? It's unfortunate because it's something that we like doing. We like going to places and watching the films and talking and going to bars, going to films.
Yeah, I mean that whole human element, at least right now, is not there. So I just I think the data was showing that people even before this were not going to theaters as much. So I was always interested in the fact that I think theaters had to add an extra element, like maybe like a film festival element where you had a cast member or a crew member. It wasn't just going to see a film on the big screen.
Well, look what Kevin Smith did. He went around with his film instead of releasing it, went to Radio City. Like big theaters over here in the big theater in Asbury, and you see the Q&A with the two of them or whoever else is in the film that's there that night. So you get that experience of here's the film, here's us talking, or Q&A, and everyone's having a good time, and it's a huge theater. He has that record at what was it, $93,000 for the one day? Was that it, Ming?
Something like that. And then I think per theater,
he is the record, right?
He did better than Endgame or something, something crazy like that. Per theater average.
Yeah. Because you think about it, and I saw it twice in these big things. I went to see it twice, and because it's fun. I enjoyed it. I brought different people every time we went. Whatever, it was a higher price, but it was worth it. And then they do the Q&A, which I've seen them plenty of times, but it was really cool to hear it, and it's different every time. It's never the same. And someone else is there it's not just Kevin and Jay. Maybe they're in a town and someone else is in the movie and gets up on stage. So it's always. Did you go up on stage at all? You weren't there for when it was here, right?
No, I didn't. But here's the article. It's in Forbes of all places.
Yeah.
Wow. Jay and Silent Bob reboot is shattering box office records, and nobody has noticed. Which
nobody noticed
per theater. $93,520.
In New Jersey.
That was their opening weekend. But the per theater average was something like crazy. It was like 6,000 or something. Wow. It was 60,000 per theater average.
Yeah.
And so that beat.
I saw it. I also saw it I saw it here in the regular theater, and then I saw it in New York City. Went to New York. It was packed. It was really cool. So, and then I had this shirt that I had bought online. I had a bunch of Kevin's films on video.
Oh, nice.
And it was stacked. So I'm walking around, and some woman in this guy stopped me. They go, hey, can we take a picture of you? And I said, why? She's like, you're wearing our shirt that we made. They made the shirt, and they were there, and they're like, this is so cool that we see you here, and we made your shirt. I was like, that was pretty awesome. That was pretty awesome. So I got a photo with the people that made the shirt. So random. It was that random. It was just so random, but it was fun. But yeah, that's cool. But that could be the new thing.
I think so. I mean,
what if you did it? You made a film, you feature film, and you're like, all right, you book a big theater out here. You did get as much cast that you can and people on crew, and you do a big Q&A after, and you sell tickets for $30-$40 a piece, and you have it at what's the big theater out here in Asbury?
Paramount.
Oh, yeah, the Paramount.
Paramount.
That's
you do the Paramount.
Yeah, no,
they do that for the festivals.
Yeah.
Well, why don't you do it for your film?
Yeah, no, because
why not?
You have to give the audience something that they can't necessarily get at home, right?
Yeah.
And for the big films like the Marvel films and the big blockbusters, people are going to still go to the theaters for that.
Mm-hmm.
But for the independent stuff, why should somebody go to a theater? And especially now that they're accustomed to being
what's
at
the
home,
reason
you have to give them something extra, something that makes the experience more than just seeing it on the big screen. And then maybe AMC and these theater chains will come together and have more of a festival experience for their guests, like throughout the year at these different places throughout the country.
Alamo one that was it's in Texas, it's in New York. They did theme stuff like that. They did like they'll bring in a film and have a theme thing and have the person there or something or somebody from it. I saw Star Wars in New York, the newer ones.
Oh, nice.
And they had like really cool stuff as you went in, and they have craft beers as well. But then they had a camera with the Millennium Falcon and was flying around filming people, and they had put the video together with like all old Star Wars commercials from back in the 70s.
Oh wow.
And like old like shows and clips and stuff, and they would show it before. So it was all the specialty stuff just for the film. Wow. And I could have just saw it at any theater and just walked in and watched it, but this was all a huge thing that they put together.
Wow.
And that's what you need to do. I believe.
I think so. Yeah, I think so.
Or like you see these anniversaries. I saw the Animal House anniversary in Newark, and not Flounder. What's his name was there? I can't even remember his name right now. Well, one of the actors was there, played one of the main characters, and he did a Q&A after the movie. But that was made in the early in 1980. So we were like, I was very young, so I couldn't see that. So going to the theater to see Animal House as an adult with a packed house and watching it and people dying laughing at these scenes that you've laughed at hundreds of times and seen it was such a cool experience to hear that and see that. It's like I'm going to see American Pie for the first time in a theater, which I did, and it was hysterical. Yeah. And laughing with everybody, but those scenes where they kill the horse and everyone's dying laughing, and you're like, this is funny. It felt so cool. And then afterwards, you're doing a Q&A with not Otter. What's his name? The guy that he's in a bad guy in a lot of stuff all the time. He's still acting out there. I am blanking.
I forgot.
Otter was the other guy. It'll pop into my head. But what a great movie. What a great experience. And I'll never forget that. I'll remember that. So they should do more of that, I believe. I think so.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense.
And it would bring people back to the theater. Mm-hmm. Like I would go.
Let me ask you this. We've actually, we used to go to the movies a lot together.
Yeah. So see a bunch of stuff. A lot of indie stuff that people are like, what?
Do you like or dislike the dine-in theaters?
I like it.
Yeah, I like it too.
I like it, but I wouldn't like. I don't like. Some people get home meals and stuff. I'll get a snack.
Yeah,
take a fish here or something like that, and get a drink.
Let me ask you something else. Do you feel like you always hear say, "Oh, I don't like to dine in because the waiters they're so noisy or it distracts my viewing experience"? It doesn't for me.
No,
I don't know. Like I don't mind. I like having the bigger seat. I like if I have to go to the restroom, I could just get up and go. I don't have to bump.
Well, they have that at the Alamo too, but they have it like it's like this. You sit down like this, and there's and then there's the next seat down. It goes down, but you have this whole thing all the way across, and you sit there, and they'll come in real quick and then a couple of times, and they're real quiet, and they're just like, "What would you like?" Yeah, another beer, another this, another drink. What an experience! I want that. I want that experience.
Yeah,
but I guess now you do it at home.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it's going. It's like, but I think even before that, it's bringing. I mean, with sports too, it's bringing the home experience to the stadium. I mean, that's what a lot of these sports teams have done, and with the stadium setups and like paying extra for the quote unquote box seats, etc.
Yeah.
But I personally like it. I mean, I know you do hear a lot of friends and people saying, "Oh, I don't like it because it's distracting and this and that," but they are usually sold out. You go on a Saturday night, most of the new films that come out that week, they're always sold out. So they have to be. It has to be a good investment and a good marketing and business strategy for AMC.
It's also different these days. Like you have to, if your film coming out, you got to make money in the beginning because they remember back when we were younger, these movies were out for 3, 4, 5 months. You know, if you don't make it that first weekend, you're gone in a week.
Yeah. Because and they come out on Netflix or Prime or wherever very quickly.
I mean, you hit or miss after that first weekend. That's you know, it's a shame. Even these other films that have bombed. You know, like I don't know, maybe the last Terminator that came out. You know, they didn't promote it right, or it just wasn't good, or they didn't have good promotions for it. It you know, it was supposed to be like, forget the other ones. This is right after part 2. And then it comes out and it just totally bombs.
Yeah.
After that first weekend, and like no, and that's it. That's all you got. So, but some films, if people go see it and not that first weekend, and like, you know what, it's really good, and the word of mouth, and more people come, and then it gets bigger. That doesn't happen that often. Usually, it's like, the movie wasn't good enough, and then it's gone.
Well, that's Avatar's story, right? Like the first, if you remember back,
because nobody was like, "What is this?" And some people went to see it, and then they're like,
critics
incredible.
Critics didn't like it.
Yeah.
But the first weekend or even 2 weekends, it didn't do well, and then all of a sudden it just. And Titanic, I don't know what it is with James Cameron. I think the same thing happened with Titanic too.
It just didn't pick up with the new Terminator.
Yeah, and I remember Titanic. I mean, that was in the theater for forever.
Yes,
it was almost like a year.
Forever.
Yeah,
forever.
And it was because of that slow build. But that's very
well. Back
rare.
in the day, the movies would come out and they would stay out for a long time. I remember as a little kid, like Ghostbusters and Gremlins came out in the summer, and they were out for almost a year in the theater. Because they didn't have really where to go right after that. And then VHS, you know, go on VHS.
Usually a long time, a
long time wait. They get it out finally. But they would have long runs in the theater. Even like back when Star Wars came out, that was out for a long time. They just kept it out. And then they would re-release it again and again every so often. Because I did see Empire as a young kid, but not in the original release. They brought it back again or something like that. I remember it was very vague because I was very young, but that was one of the first movies I saw in the theater. It was that. I remember going to see Jedi as a first release, and I think it was 83, I believe. I was pretty young still in the theater watching that, but I remember going to the theater with my cousins and watching Return of the Jedi, and that was an experience because I was Empire. I can hardly remember, but in the theater, but Jedi was the first one where I kind of really remember going to sit down as a kid with my family and my cousins, and we're watching Return of the Jedi.
Do you remember what theater it was?
No.
Was it around here or
no? I didn't live here yet. It was in New York.
It
was that's how old it was. I was 83.
Wow,
freaking young, man.
I think the first.
I think my brother was just born.
Wow.
Yeah.
The first film I ever saw was in the theater was Rocky IV.
Or he was 2 years old. He was Rocky
IV, 85, I think.
Yeah.
Christmas 85.
Yeah.
But I want to go back. I saw The American Tale in the theater. So
well, and when you see this, did you go with your family? It was like a family event thing? Because I remember like going to see when you were a kid. That's the Home Alone. Yeah. I went to see Home Alone with my entire family. We all went, and I don't think I ever laughed so loud. I'm still young.
Yeah.
I laughed so like the whole time.
The whole theater.
Crying. And my father's dying laughing.
Same thing. I remember my
what an experience.
Laughing.
You don't see that anymore. There's no movie that does that anymore.
Yeah.
I remember just a select few, but that as a kid, I remember going to see American Pie and the whole theater's dying laughing together.
Yeah.
And
that was 20 years ago, American Pie. Yeah.
There's Something About Mary.
Yeah.
I saw that in a test audience. I had a test audience over here. And I just went. I got a ticket. I went. I'm sitting next to people. I have no idea who they are. I'm by myself. I'm like, test audience, cool, because I never done that before back then. So I go, the first 10 minutes, I was crying the whole time. And you guys like, penis stuck in the zipper and he's zippering her up. And I'm like, and this is Ben Stiller dressed as like a young kid.
Yeah.
I lost it. I couldn't stop laughing, and the movie kept going. I'm still laughing about the first part of it.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing like that anymore. It doesn't happen. Really. Or old school, laughing so loud and crazy. But those are like certain memories, and I haven't been to a movie theater and saw a comedy and laughed like that, and I can't even remember the last time.
Did you see Dumb and Dumber in the theater?
The new one?
No, I saw the new one which wasn't any good. But
No, but it was funny, and that was probably the last one I saw in the theater. Dumb and Dumber 2.
I didn't think that was very good.
There was moments. There were moments in it that are funny, that are laugh out loud. So that was probably the last movie that I laughed out loud in the theater at moments, because there was a few a couple scenes.
Yeah, no, okay.
There were a few scenes that were so hysterical.
Yeah.
That you're laughing throughout.
Yeah.
Not like Dumb and Dumber in the theater.
Oh
Forget
my
it. The
God.
whole movie you're
The whole
laughing.
movie,
but the sequel, there was a good 3 or 4 scenes that were so damn funny that you're laughing for 10 minutes talking about it. But I think that was the last film that I was laughing out loud in the movie theater. I don't think I've seen a comedy in a theater since then.
Yeah, they don't make much like that.
Or they come right to video, maybe,
Netflix,
and some video, or most of them are television shows now anyway that make you laugh. And there's not even so, out there, filmmakers, make a good comedy, because they're really hard to find right now.
They're hard to make too. It's hard to create a good comedy,
Really is.
Without being like cheesy or just stupid or just forced. I think it has to be organic and natural, and I think it's very hard to do that, like a straight comedy. Like most of my projects have been like kind of hybrids, comedy dramas. But to do like a straight comedy, I think is just very difficult.
It's not easy. Even today, a lot of them do go straight to VOD and all that, and they're just not the same.
Yeah,
not the same. So, if you filmmakers out there make a good comedy, please, we want to go see it. Laugh out loud in the theater again would be a great thing.
Yeah.
So, so you got all this going on and everything. What do you plan on doing other than that? Anything else on the horizon
in terms of film and
anything?
Well, I've been biking a lot. I'm training for a century ride, 100 miles on July 25th in South Jersey, Mount Holly. So I've been biking a lot. Wow. Playing tennis when I can, enjoying the beautiful weather. We've waited so long. Today. Yeah, we wait so long for this the weather to finally be good in New Jersey, and just want to take advantage of every moment I can be outside. I don't want to go. I don't know about you, but I don't really want to travel anywhere in the summer. I mean, I will.
I want to, but it's hard to. So I'm looking for places where it would be okay to.
Well, that's true. But I love the shore. I love the beach.
I wanted to go to California this summer. That's not happening.
Yeah.
But we have it here. Yeah.
We have a beautiful beach, and just trying to take advantage of all that, man. Like I said before, I think even though the quarantine has brought a lot of, hardships, and I do want to also say that, well, we had the luxury of being able to stay inside and, dealing with our quote unquote issues. Like there's doctors, nurses, and frontline workers that are actually putting their lives on the line. So we have this luxury.
And you were fortunate enough that you were still working.
Yeah, and well, I'm a business owner. I'm a small business owner.
Well, that too, but you also teaching. You still had.
Yeah, I had that.
So you had income.
Yeah,
where a lot of people didn't.
Yeah. So I'm blessed for that. Thankful for that. Thankful for all the healthcare workers that are putting their lives on the line to really save the lives of others. So just tremendously grateful. But I think I picked up some good habits, man. I think I picked up some good structure. And I hope to continue with it, just incorporating writing in my daily schedule, like, 10 scenes a day or something like that. And setting long-term goals, short-term goals, like each day, this is what I want to accomplish. This is what I want to accomplish by the end of the week. This is what I want to accomplish for the summer, for the year, etc. So
you were talking about casting. Have you casted online during this at all?
No.
With people in parts?
No, I'm not in that stage yet. No. So no casting yet.
But you already have sort of a cast for all these going forward, right? For your web series, because
for the web series, we filmed 2
right?
episodes, or one in
unless you have other characters that aren't there yet, but you pretty much have it casted, right?
Yeah. I mean, we had a great cast for the benefactor, Alex Aldea, who I mentioned previously, Laura Peterson, whom you know, Marissa Bertani, Nicholas Calhoun, who's one of my great friends. He's a great actor. James Chacon, who's also in the Cafone pilot. So we had an awesome cast. Gemma McAnally, who plays the Ovella character, who's kind of like the spiritual help to my character, who's going through a bunch of his own problems. It's a cool cast. I think, I'm really, I like the first episode. I like the second episode.
You can see the first one right now on YouTube.
Tom Bentey Media. There's a whole bunch of stuff. I'm going to do some more videos now. That's one of the things I'm going to start incorporating going forward, is just doing reviews. I'm also working on like a communications course. Before I started teaching transmedia, I taught public speaking for.
You're developing a class?
I wrote it out. I just need to film it. So I'm gonna put the ads, some stuff online, and then some stuff is gonna be for pay. I'm developing like a film online course, how to create a feature film, and like, cause I did it as a
doing like those
man.
like almost like those master classes that they have out there.
I don't know if I'm Ron Howard.
Yeah, well,
I'm just
still teaching.
I'm some guy. Yeah,
there are other things.
I have the good experience, so
I'd
love to share my experience with others and try to provide knowledge. And yeah, I want to create more content just for online, just like videos of reviews, like I said, talking about the production process from a corporate standpoint. A lot of people that are in these corporations, they don't understand like how do you go about creating a video a lot of times. So just putting content on there.
How is the corporate video stuff going?
Well, we're not filming yet.
Yeah,
not
film
yet.
right
No.
now. Yeah. You do things like they'll come in and can you make a how-to video?
Yeah. We did some cool stuff. One of the coolest projects. Actually, I think I was here 2 years ago, right?
Yeah.
It was 18. I was here in the summer.
I believe so.
And we had just finished an active shooter training video for Middlesex County College in New Jersey, in Edison, actually, my hometown. And that was a great experience. So
oddly enough, I filmed an active shooter myself.
You did?
Yeah, for our district, but I have the video, but it was never made into anything more than me filming it. So
I should send you. I'm not allowed to.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah. I have the footage. I had to give it to them. They have the footage, so whatever they did with it. But I was there for that active shooter thing, and it was wild.
Yeah, I think ours came, and they were really happy with the Middlesex County College was very happy with. We had a great. The police there were awesome. Mike Ambrosiak, who I actually went to high school with, he's the one who brought me on board for that project, and everyone involved in that was really great. And that was a cool experience. And then another cool experience I did that summer was creating marketing videos for an augmented reality glasses company. So you have these cool augmented reality glasses and like creating marketing content for them and all the graphics that were involved.
So there's a lot of companies that do podcasts here. Maybe someday they'll want a video of some sort. So we'll have to make sure people see that, and you never know, because they're right, Ming. There's a lot of corporations, a lot of people that always are looking for things like
there are, and everything's so visual now. Throw up
and they all podcast though. A lot of podcasts,
yeah, for sure. Yeah, but there's a good chance of that for sure.
Yeah, so
cool.
You never know.
Keep me in mind. Suburbanite Productions, baby.
Yeah. So we have your stuff all out there so people can check it out, and I'm sure more people, because this was kind of like I do that sometimes with surprise episodes here and there and everywhere, but it'll be on the page. It will also be on YouTube as well as SoundCloud, and so it gets out there.
Nice,
people
man.
See these shows.
I really appreciate you inviting me. I know it was last minute, and I'm sorry. I know I came in late for everyone at home, but this is always cool. It's cool seeing you, man. It was a good dude. Yeah. Ming, honored to be here with you today, sir.
Oh, honored to have you in here, my friend.
It's always a good time in Cullen on Film, and we learn a lot about people. A little different than the other show.
Yeah,
a little bit different, but we get your name out there, get your stuff out there.
I appreciate
and that's the point.
Yeah.
And people learn from it too as well. So teaching TV film and showing kids these videos and be like, all right, this person does this and this, and you show that there's so many different aspects of this industry, and not just I'm a writer director, it's everything else. So
and I think that's the way the industry is going, and I'm sure you can attest to it too, is like the days of like, hey, I just act or I just write. I think those days are long gone, and take advantage of all the tools that we have, right? You can create films, and they are creating films with iPhones. Like, it doesn't have to be a big budget project. Like, just tell a compelling story, have the audience feel something. And you don't need a lot of money to do that. You just need good storytelling skills. So take advantage of it. Like, if you want to get into acting, learn how to write, direct, produce, learn how to create your own content. Absolutely. And if you want to be a filmmaker, learn how to act, because that's a great tool to have as a director as well.
Have it all. It is. There it really is. But you went from acting and then into that.
I did, and I still act. I'm a proud member of Screen Actors Guild, as are you, correct? I still pay my dues, and I'm proud to be.
Don't do it too much, but I do it.
Yeah, I mean, I want to do it more. I
think everyone want to do it more. But then you get distracted and you do other things.
Well, so you get distracted, but you don't, as a part of.
But it's good though, because you're doing good things.
Yeah,
you're working.
actors, right? You know, your whole life can change in a day, and it could be years or even longer before you have that opportunity, but you can't just be waiting around for that opportunity. You have to make your own as well. But I'm lucky. I do have some couple new agents and managers that I'm working with. So I'm hoping when things get back to normal, I'll at least be able to do some more auditions.
Have you done any audition tapes?
I did one. Yeah, I did one, I think back in April. They were doing some like big audition. So I'm lucky I have the production studio so I can, and my friends come in, Alex comes in, my friend Nicholas Calhoun comes in, and they'll do their self tapes with me.
Cool.
So I'm lucky I have that studio. And yeah, we did one in April for some sort of big like open call type thing that I think everybody had an opportunity to audition for. But
you never know with that stuff, because I did that one time as just to experience auditioning. And I had like, it was a big audition. Many people did it, but I got the call. I went in and I got the part.
Nice.
Shocked.
Yeah.
So many people auditioned, but you never know.
You never know.
And that was probably one of the best experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
And I made some money.
Yeah.
So you never know. That's the best part about it all. So just keep at it, everybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, thanks a lot for coming in. And that's another episode of Cullen on Film. And we got some coming up shortly soon. Next week we should have some more guests coming, and hopefully throughout the summer, news actors that are at home will get you on. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thank you.